The amazing story of the Hot Cheeto started on a day when the Frito-Lay factory assembly line machines broke down, prompting immigrant and janitor Richard Montanez to take home some bare Cheetos and add his own spicy blend to them. Getting positive reactions from his friends, Montanez bought his first ever tie and made a spot-on business presentation to company executives about the idea for the new product. Today, Montanez is an executive within the very building he once cleaned. On the subject of going rags to riches, Montanez looks every new employee straight in the eye and asks, "You tried that?" Here we are, it's You Tried That, lucky episode number 13. I'm Nick Novak with my pals Chad Hancock.
Sup?
And Nick Geiger.
Hey there.
And guys, I'm already experiencing severe regret at the decisions that we've made.
You regretted that?
For those who didn't listen to the end of the last episode, today we will be featuring a potted meat challenge, which the loser of a set of trivia questions will have to eat a bunch of potted meat. And this is the stupidest idea.
To be clear, we're all trying that, though, correct? It's like the other two will still try some.
Yes, everyone has to try it. The loser has to eat the entire thing. This could be the dumbest thing we've ever done, or it'll probably be the dumbest thing we've ever done.
Novak, you are an asshole for doing this.
It seemed funny to me when I was picking it off the shelf in the grocery store. I didn't know we were even going to do a competition like this, but just for us to try this potted meat. And it even seemed kind of funny as we made up the idea because it was weeks away. And now, faced with the prospect of eating this, I can only regret every decision along the line.
It was definitely something when you mailed me the box of snacks that you had picked out, and I opened them up and I see things like, oh, here's like Hostess Twinkies, and here's, some weird clown lollipop, and then potted meat. And my first thought was, did you accidentally include something in the box that you didn't mean to?
My reassurance comes from the fact that the chief ingredient is mechanically separated chicken. So why can't they just say chicken?
Because they have some machine where they grab the chicken by the wings and just rip it apart like a medieval torture device.
Just screaming.
I wish I had. I think the challenge should be who can get through the most ingredients on the list. Who can read the ingredients?
Mechanically separated chicken, pork, water, salt, and then 2% or less of dignity. Mustard, vinegar, dextrose, sodium ethiorbate, garlic powder, natural flavors, and sodium nitrate. Not as many as I guess I would have predicted. It's also, guys, I don't know if you saw this on the package, this is America's favorite. So we have that going for us. Favorite what? I'm not sure. Mechanically separated pink slime.
They sold 3 cans of this and no cans of anything else. So
it's shot to the
correct.
top of the chart. It's also gluten-free.
Yeah, I was just about to point that out.
What the?
They're putting that on everything. I swear I saw a gluten-free label on, bottled water the other day.
That challenge will be coming up later, so stay tuned. But early on in the show, here we're going to talk a little bit about the food industry. Now, we all 3 worked at the same steakhouse as servers, serving steaks to patrons. But I thought we'd talk about, money aside, what you guys feel like is the worst food industry job, assuming everything paid exactly the same.
So are we including the people that have to, mechanically separate the chicken? Is that a job?
That's probably the answer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, working in a meat plant is got to be... My brother actually got a job at a meat plant when he was in college, or just out of college, and worked there for a week, came home throwing up every day, and then quit the job. He said that conditions, just the way you see things, you can't unsee it.
Is he a vegetarian now?
No, but that's got to be one of the top terrible ones, right?
Yeah. A good friend of mine, one of his buddies that I've met a few times, his family owns a slaughterhouse. And so he has worked at the slaughterhouse for a long time. And at one point, I think the plan was he would take it over and keep it in the family. I just can't imagine, you hear all these grisly stories about, the way animals are slaughtered for food. And it just sounds disgusting. I'm not saying that their company is doing that. I'm just saying that.
Give us
some
his
of those-
name.
His name is Frank McDonald's, the owner of McDonald's.
He's your friend.
I have this buddy. His name is Ronald McDonald.
Which chain restaurant would be the worst one to work at and the best one to work at as far as like fast food places?
Ooh.
I think the worst would have to be White Castle because that food there is just disgusting and like isn't it like stoners coming in all the time and stuff like that?
I always feel like the worst is the like Subway sandwich artist
Oh, yeah.
who has to sit and like people are staring at you while you work, which I feel like would be worse.
That actually, I have an irritation with that Subway process because like they'll advertise like get the new like chicken bacon ranch or something, and then you go in there and you'll say I'll have the chicken bacon ranch. Okay, how do you want it? And they're like pausing over the meat, and I'm like, I'm assuming there's chicken. Like, just make it the way it's on the sign. Like, I'll tell you about like the tomatoes and the oil and juice and stuff, but like, isn't there a recipe that you should follow? And then I'll add the other fixings. Like, I end up with a different sandwich. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
Something else that makes me think of those Subway people is once the Stone Cold Creamery was really popular,
Mhm.
and the people would have to sit there mashing the ice cream together. And you like, I just would feel sorry for those people. Anytime you have to do your work, why everybody watches you make the food seems worse to me than any of the other fast foods.
And for me, the Cold Stone Creamery, also, I felt bad for them because they had the whole thing where if you tip, then they have to, like, sing a song or something. Like, everybody has to sing a song if you put money in the tip jar. And, like, no, I just want to give you money. Like, thank you for doing this thing. Now you don't have to, like, sing and dance like a sideshow or something.
On that same kind of track, the first thing that came to mind, I don't know if it's like food service tangential, but like Novak can back me up now that we have children. We often find ourselves at Chuck E. Cheese birthday parties, and it's always like, and here comes Chucky, and I just some poor sap in this foul-smelling, dilapidated rat suit comes out and like dances and stuff, while the kids like swarm him, and he has to give them all high fives and be all peppy and do this stupid dance.
Except they're
And-
not peppy. It's just some depressed teen,
Right.
like slumping around as Chuck E. Cheese, ruining my kid's childhood.
Right. And I don't know how many, like, what percentage of that guy's working day is spent in the suit. Like, if it's only like twice in an 8-hour shift, it's probably tolerable. And then the rest of the time, you just have to, like, wipe piss off the ball pit or whatever else they have to do all day.
What?
Well, I don't know. Like, kids, like, snotting all over video games and, like, greasy cheese pizza everywhere. But having to do that.
Go wipe
Chuck
the
E.
piss off the ball.
in costume. You just see him over there. Hey, Chucky, what are you doing? He's got like a mop. He's by the bathroom with a big puddle of barf or something. But that just seems like the most soul-crushing endeavor.
Would there be any fast food place that would be good to work?
Do any of them offer like health insurance and stuff? Like,
I think there's a couple that actually, like, treat their employees with dignity. I can't name them off the top of my head, but I'm sure there are, right?
yeah, I'm sure Taco Bell wouldn't really want me there anymore after I just spent 20 minutes shooting the refried bean gun into my mouth, just eating all the food. But is there a place you think you could eat at? Is there a place whose food you love so much that you think you could work there and still want to eat it? Because that's part of it too. Like if I worked at Taco Bell, I probably wouldn't want to see another piece of Taco Bell for like 6 years after I quit.
I don't think there's a fast food place like that. Maybe a real restaurant.
A restaurant, yeah. I mean, I would still eat the Lone Star Steakhouse food after we worked there. It was still, if you put a steak in front of me, I'm still going to eat it.
So the Great Steak Escape for you would be the one.
And I think I would probably still want to play in a ball pit, even if I had to wipe the piss off it. Usually.
Well, weren't you the one that was dressing in a Chuck E. Cheese costume just for fun and going and playing in the ball pit just on your own?
Yeah, there wasn't really even a ball pit. It was just the playground.
It was the dumpster outside the Chuck E. Cheese.
I filled the trash can at the playground with balls and then asked the children to come sit in there with me.
Weren't you the one, Novak, when you worked at Chuck E. Cheese and they told you to clean out the ball pit? And you said, no, let me go put on the Chuck E. Cheese costume first. And they're like, you don't have to do that. You could just clean it regular. And you're like, I only clean it in the costume.
They're like, you don't even work here. Give me the damn costume.
And also, that's a Bugs Bunny costume.
You just travel around Chuck E. Cheese's all over the country asking them if you can clean out the piss from their ball pit. You just walk in like, anybody got a ball pit with piss to clean?
Walk in costume, walk into Chuck E. Cheese, dressed like Chuck E. Cheese.
No one's pissed in our ball pit. Are you sure about that? And just sneak over there, start whizzing in there. I will clean this up. Got weird.
Well, I think all that ball pit pissing transitions nicely into our first snack. Because it's got some nice, playful characters on the front. And we're going to start with the Line Friends Crunchy. Chad, you picked this out. Why don't you tell us what, if anything, you know about this?
We got this while we were in Korea on a layover. What happened was I think I mentioned on a previous episode when we were there, we just went to, it was early in the morning, and we just went to a bakery there and spent, a couple hours in this bakery. We had maybe an hour to kill before we had to go back to the airport, so we just started wandering around the neighborhood. And my wife was like, I just wish that there was a store that had a ton of cute animals in it. We were walking down the street, and then we just saw this store called Line Friends. And it's like she willed it into existence. Like, you walk inside, and it's just full of all these cute animals, like this giant stuffed bear. So we did some research, and we found out that Line Friends is this company where I guess Line is a messaging app that's popular in Asia or something, and the Line Friends are just their characters where you can just send pictures of the characters doing different things like emojis or whatever. And so then they became popular and they just turned it into this whole brand where now they sell iPhone cases and bath mats and just towels and everything with all these characters on them. One of the things we bought was just a big package of these candy bars, which we pretty much just bought because they had cute characters on them, having no idea what is in the candy bar.
I would assume that nobody listening to this has tried that then, because
Probably not.
Yeah.
Real quick before we jump into eating this thing, the rating system, which we usually cover in about the last 10 minutes of the episode, is a love dat if we really enjoy something, then a like dat, indifferent to dat's the middle, dislike dat, and hate dat.
So I think this crunchy is sort of their take on a crunch bar.
I'm opening it up, and the chocolate looks rather dark. But all the writing on this is not English, so
It's all in Korean, yeah.
we have no idea how to know what exactly we're eating.
It does have the pieces structure that I like where you can snap off the individual, although it's kind of harder to snap in retrospect.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like
like 6 squares.
Hershey bar style pieces, about the same size, I'd say, as a Hershey rectangle. But like you said, 6 of them.
This is essentially a crunch bar.
Yeah.
I
It
feel
looks
like there's more puffed rice in there than a crunch bar has. It's a lot
Yeah.
lighter.
More puffed rice, and it's, I think, less sweet than a crunch bar.
That could be slightly,
Mm-hmm.
but certainly tastes good. Just
Mhm.
not that different than candy bars we would find here in the U.S. Do they all have the same Line Friends on front? Mine has a frog and a
Oh
bear.
no,
No. Yeah, there was 2 packages. Yours is the frog, mine is the bunny.
I have the bunny and the duck,
So that
like Chad does.
that big bear that you have on yours, Novak,
Yeah.
that's the main character, I guess, and his name is Brown. I know this because my wife bought an iPhone case with Brown on it in the shape, he's in the shape of a burger. His head is the top bun, and then he has meat and tomato and lettuce. and the iPhone case is called Burger Brown.
Wait, but he's also looks like a bear somehow?
Yeah, right, well, it's just still the same face with that sort of half worried look on his face, and it's the most impractical iPhone case. It's one of those ones where the phone is however big, and then the case is sticking out 3 inches around the side in every direction. So you can barely hold it anymore, and you can't fit it in any of your pockets and stuff.
Is his name in Korean the Korean word for brown, or is it just they're like, fuck it, let's not bother translating this. This is a brown character.
All the packages just said brown in English.
Okay.
So do you know the rabbit's name?
No, in the store they had all the characters' names up on the wall and stuff, and
White and yellow.
most of them were just regular names. I think there was one named Sue or something, and they were all just kind of but I thought Brown was pretty funny because it was just
Here's all the animals: Sue, Frank, Mike, Brown.
yeah.
And they all are burgers, or no? They're just regular animals most of the
They're
time.
normally regular animals. Just for some reason, in that case, he was in a burger outfit.
Of course.
All right,
Okay,
Geiger,
okay.
what we're going to start with you here.
Mhm.
This one might be pretty easy for us. So,
Yeah.
what do you think?
You like a Crunch Bar, you like this. This tastes exactly like the Crunch Bar. So I am on record. The Crunch, like the puff rice kind of filling in a candy bar is not my favorite. In fact, of the common ones, it might be pretty far down the list. But that doesn't mean a Crunch Bar isn't fine. It's nothing I ever seek out. I'm like, oh man, I need a Crunch Bar. But if someone hands me one, I'm going to eat it. This is fine. This is tasty. It's fine. It's a like that. Nothing special about it, but it's good. It tastes good. I ate the whole thing, which is a
Right.
rapidly diminishing compliment, but at least for now. At least for now.
That means nothing.
No, it's a solid like that. There's nothing. Again, there's nothing really like unique or different about it. I feel like I've had the same candy bar already multiple times in my life.
Chad?
I really like this thing. I ate the whole thing. I think it's delicious. I love a Crunch Bar, though. It's one of my favorite bars. And this is basically like a Crunch Bar, but just not quite as sweet, so I actually feel like I could eat more of this. So yeah, this is a big hit for me. I'm going to go Love Dad.
Wow.
All right.
So your problem with the Crunch Bar is that you can't eat enough of it.
Yes, exactly.
An improved Crunch Bar.
Well, and also I don't, even though I said I could eat a lot of it, this bar is smaller than a Crunch Bar, so I feel like I can get that sort of like satisfaction of a Crunch Bar, like scratch that itch without getting quite as fat off of it.
You can just stop halfway through a regular sized Crunch Bar.
Nope.
You could twist off the end. Remember, we learned how to do that.
I'm probably more with Geiger here. Crunch Bar is not one of my favorite bars. I would never pick it out. The only time I ever eat a Crunch Bar is probably on Halloween. My kids bring home candy, and I just swipe a piece, and I'll eat the Crunch Bar then, but I would never buy one from the store. I agree. I might prefer this over a Crunch Bar. It's a little lighter, but I'm just going to stick with the like that. Very likable treat here the first time around. The Line Friends Crunchy gets 2 likes and a love. So the bar has been set high.
Tell me if this is a weird thing that I used to do.
Yep.
So you know how with a Crunch Bar, it has the word crunch written on it? I used to, when I would eat a Crunch Bar, I would eat all the way around the outside so that, like, only preserving the letters of the actual word crunch, and then eat the letters, like, sort of one at a time. Like, an entire bite for each letter, and then, like, look at the, like, words, like, oh, now it says runch. Is that weird?
This is more complicated than your toast making.
Yeah. I mean, so at the end, you're holding like a wet, chewed up piece of candy that on all edges has your saliva all over it.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, as a kid, if you qualified it as a kid, it's not weird because kids do weird stuff.
Yeah.
If you had said you're still doing it, I would probably question.
I think it was weird when you told me that you would buy 50 Crunch Bars and then just write a story out of the letters.
And by story, you mean ransom note.
Right. It was really weird that you could only ask for ransom that could be spelled with the letters of crunch. Like, you could only really kidnap people whose names fell within that range.
Yeah.
Having said that, I can't think of a single one.
Are you trying to think of a name? We're all trying to quickly anagram crunch into something else. I'm going to kidnap Run from Run DMC. All right. Some good ratings there. Next, we're going to step into this gigantic bag of sunflower seeds. This is the Hidden Valley Ranch flavored sunflower seed. I will say I picked this out because I have a long sunflower history. I'm a big sunflower seed fan. Started when I was a kid. I played a lot of baseball, grew up playing baseball up through high school. We ate sunflower seeds all the time. It was just what you did as a baseball player. So it's like something I came to like. I didn't start liking it. And now as I'm older, I still like it. Do you guys, are you sunflower seed fans?
I'm pretty sure I haven't had sunflower seeds before. How do you eat them? Do I eat the whole thing? Do I need to crack them open?
You need to crack them open. I do not recommend eating the shell. Like, they sell sunflower seeds without shells, like just the little inside parts of them.
Yeah.
These are all shelled, so
It's the weird food that is flavored, but the flavor is all on the part you don't eat. So you like suck the flavor off and then spit the shell out, essentially. I didn't grow up eating this type of sunflower seed. We would put it, the actual sunflower, I think they call it the sunflower meat, or whatever, like the nut meat from inside, as like on top of a salad. Like we eat that all the time. That was really good. And there is a CVS in my train station that sells these little cups of like just the meat out of the shell, like with like spicy seasoning on it or like just salted. And I really like I grab those sometimes if I'm working late and I'm hungry and I don't want to ruin my dinner. I can just have like a couple handfuls of those and it tides me over, and those are really tasty. However, opening day this year, I went to the Brewer game. Somebody had brought along a big bag of regular sunflower seeds, so I started eating them the regular way, and I actually really enjoyed it. Like, so there was something even fun about just like spitting out the shell. It sounds stupid,
Right.
but like cracking it open, spitting out the shell, and like tossing them on the ground, like kind of like the same thing as peanuts, only your hands aren't all dusty and cruddy when you're
Right.
done.
Well, that's, I think, part of the problem with why I don't pick these up and, eat them at work, because I can't just be spitting them out all over the place. There's a specific time and place to have these, which is why I just don't eat them that frequently.
Well, and now like most ballparks, you can't even. I mean, not ballparks, but like if we were to play baseball again, I wonder like if your kids could even bring them, because now they have like rules about not spitting seeds all over the fields and stuff.
Yeah, I carried in my baseball bag from pretty much like 7 until when I got older. That was part of what I carried around in my baseball bag with my equipment, was a huge bag of sunflower seeds. So
they don't have any ranch smell.
Yeah,
go into my mouth, and I'm looking for the ranch here, trying to seek it out. Kind of suck on this. If you've never eaten sunflower seeds, that has to seem like a weird experience. Yeah.
I'm so confused.
Suck on the shell, bite down on the edges so it cracks open.
You kind of bite on the top and bottom at the same time of the like sides. A better bet might also just to be crack it open in your hand so you can actually see the part you're supposed to be eating.
I think I got it.
You could also get these mechanically separated.
Because the part you're supposed to eat is tiny.
Mm-hmm.
So small. So
but like I said, like the flavoring is on the shell, so it's kind of like counterintuitive. The meat probably tastes the same no matter what kind of flavor you have.
But I'm trying to even get the ranch part, because I actually like ranch dressing, pretty well.
Like a normal, yeah.
But I'm not really even tasting that much ranch on the outside of these. They don't taste that different from a standard sunflower seed to me.
So a standard sunflower seed, Chad, is just like basically salted.
Yeah.
So you get a lot of salt, and that's really all I'm getting from those.
I don't taste any ranch at all.
Chad, you are clearly confused by this process, so why don't you start us off?
The flavor is not bad, but I have a problem when it's like, this is really hard to eat. We ran into that last episode with the lollipop that we were supposed to dip into the salt or whatever. It's just like this whole process. If I actually have to slow down and like take my time to eat something,
taste my food,
then that diminishes my enjoyment, right? Like there's no chance I can ever, accidentally swallow other things that are in my mouth, like my retainer wire. So I don't know, just like the extra work involved, it really is a huge knock against that. And I mean, that's nothing against this particular brand. I think that was going to happen with anything. I think I'm going to go dislike, because I can't even taste any ranch.
All right. I'm way far away from you on this one. I love sunflower seeds. The thing is, I love a plain sunflower seed. I don't know whether to downgrade this for trying to tell me it's ranch when I don't taste much in the way of ranch. But they are still good sunflower seeds. They're very salty, saltier than some I've had. And I just love the process. There's something very nostalgic about the sunflower seed to me. So that kind of intangible really hits home for me. I'm going to go, I could eat these all day. I'm going to give it a love dat.
Whoa!
Geiger?
I ate the whole bat. No, I'm kidding.
That would have been impressive.
Crunch, crunch, crunch.
That's the only reason I
right
bought these, is to stop Geiger from eating a whole bag of something.
How dare you slow me down? Before I get into it, quick, Chad, just and I'm not challenging your assertion. I understand what you're saying.
Sure.
But like, are you that same way with like crab legs? Because the crab legs can be very difficult to open. And like a laborious process.
All right. Yeah, so you just called out my hypocrisy.
Yeah.
I'm just
I
asking.
was hoping you would mention that.
I love crab legs, and so no, I'm not the same way with crab legs. But that's an actual, like, meal. So you're sitting down, it's like a whole thing. This is like a snack. It's just something I want to eat, like, kind of quickly or not really think about too much. So that's how I'm going to justify it.
And Novak, you've had a whole bag of sunflower seeds for a meal before, right?
I usually, yes, get the steak and sunflower seed.
I am actually, Novak kind of took the words out of my mouth. I like these. I like sunflower seeds. I don't mind the process of eating them. I find them tasty. I'm super into salty snacks. This is right up my alley. I don't understand them saying it's ranch. It doesn't taste any different than a regular sunflower seed. Now, I will say, Novak, were you putting them in one by one and trying to hint the ranch?
I was early on, and then I tossed a few in, but I was just trying to find the ranch.
I put it in a big old gob, and it tasted it tasted different than a regular sunflower seed. Whether you could have, if you didn't tell me what flavor it was supposed to be, I never would have picked ranch, but at least
Right.
it tasted different. I think they're tasty. I think they're good. They're probably fairly nutritious, I would think. I guess I didn't
Yeah, I
really
think
check.
sunflower seeds are decently good for you.
I like this. I think the only other problem is there's limited places I can eat them. Like I would have to eat them at home or in a parking lot. Those are probably the only places that allow you to spit this stuff everywhere. I'm going to give this a like that. I don't love it. I certainly don't dislike it. It's right. It's a solid like. This is a solid snack and I enjoy it.
You spend a lot of your time sitting alone in a parking lot, though.
I do. Eating snacks. Yeah. I just wait till the store actually closes, go park my car, take a nap, maybe sleep there, maybe shower in the I don't know, in the bathroom.
You like to go to Chuck E. Cheese parking lots and wait for the urine to build up in the ball pit so you can go in and clean it.
Right. I get up, I build up a good piss, I go piss in their ball pit, then I play the waiting game.
By building up a good piss, do you just mean drink water or something, or what?
Drink a lot of water and don't pee. And then they find me in my car with like a Chuck E. Cheese helmet that I've spit a ton of sunflower seed shells into. They're like, I think something's afoot.
You do that
And
at
then-
night, right? Usually.
Right. That's actually, this is the 32nd state I've had to live in. I keep getting, they keep making me move. So a couple of years, guys, we might have to shut the old podcast down.
Sitting alone in a car in a parking lot of Chuck E. Cheese, listening to Nickelback.
Whoa, I'm not that depressed.
How dare you?
We're not going to shut the podcast down just because you live in a car. Just go park in a Starbucks parking lot and mooch off their Wi-Fi or something. Come on.
But during the podcast, just, hey, you move, put your pants on. I'm just like,
The first thing they told you to do was move. They're concerned about your pants.
because they didn't realize when I stood up to move, I was wearing zero pants. I was wearing them. I was wearing those Chuck E. Cheese pants.
I like
It's
how you
like
had
a-
zero pants on.
It's like a news anchor where under the table you're just wearing boxer shorts.
So just a real quick logistical question. How do you do the multiple sunflower seeds at one time and not, like, accidentally swallow part of the shell or whatever?
I'm sure I've swallowed many shells in my day,
Hmm.
but I don't gob them into my mouth as Geiger described, putting a whole big mouthful of sunflower seeds, because I think that's a tough way to eat them. Look at what in the world? No. You open your mouth. How many sunflower seeds do you have in your mouth?
Yeah, too many to count. I mean, you just shove them in one cheek and then release one between your teeth.
Yeah.
each time. And that way you're sucking on the flavor of the whole. Come on, guys. It's not that hard.
I don't know. That looked like an excessive amount.
Did you guys eat peanut shells when you were a kid?
No.
No.
I did. Sometimes I would just eat the whole thing because it was super salty. It probably
Yeah, but they're not to
flooded
be
my
eaten.
butthole on the way out. Yeah. You're
All
always
right.
eat the outside of a fruit too, like banana peels. You guys eat banana peels? All right.
Well, we've avoided this as long as humanly possible. But it's time for the potted meat challenge. So buckle up, because we're about to embark on this potted meat. But I think we should maybe get the aroma and taste of it to really motivate us to answer these questions correct.
So we've each prepared 2 questions for the other 2. We'll ask and the questions are of a style where one person could be closer to the right answer than the other person. Whoever gets the least amount of points after 6 questions has to eat the entire thing in one bite. The other 2 people have to taste it. What will probably happen is we'll probably tie, and then we all have to eat it.
Yeah, that's the bad part here. Is if it's 2-2-2, then we all eat the potted
Oh,
meat.
this smells not great.
Oh, it
No.
smells like cat food. It
Oh,
does.
Yeah, it
Don't tell
really
me that.
does.
I haven't opened mine yet. I'm taking your word.
And it looks like cat food. It has this can looks exactly like if you give your cat wet cat food.
Oh,
It has the peel
God.
open top.
There's like little sticky fluid sliding down the top. What did you do to us, Novak?
Are we supposed
Okay.
to stir the fluid around, or do we just eat it as is?
Here's I have
Question I
a-
hope to never
Did you
ask
bring
of
a
my
spoon or a
food.
fork?
Spoon.
I brought a fork hoping that I could some of what I went to put in my mouth would sloosh through the tines, but there's no way that's happening.
Oh, this
This is
reeks.
going to be really hard to do in one bite because one can is 240 calories.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys.
All right,
if
I
I
just
get
tried
one
some.
bite here and can't do the rest, I'm not gonna be able to eat. I'll probably just be vomiting. Quick
I
question.
think you just need to eat the can. I think one bite's maybe not possible. Just eating the can, I think,
Oh.
is the fair part.
Guys, folks at home, to describe the visual of this, it's like if you took ham and put it in a blender and then made it smell like shit. That's what this is.
It's like ham. You put ham and some of the piss balls from the ball pit at Chuck E. Cheese in a blender together.
And put about as much pride in your work as those Chuck E. Cheese employees do.
Did you try a bite? I just tried a bite.
No.
No,
Yeah, well,
I was waiting.
Everyone has to try a bite. You all have to try one. That was
I thought we were going to do it at the end.
No, I think just to this motivate you. Touched his tongue to it. That was it.
Oh God, that's
It's bad. It's
not
bad.
good.
Ooh, that's bad.
Who eats this shit?
Oh.
I mean,
That's
Which
fucking
which-
nasty.
Which
Fuck.
America is this the favorite of?
okay. So
Ugh.
now there's proper motivation
Oh,
to answer these questions accurately.
look, quick question: is this Price is Right rules, like closest without going over, or is it just closest people?
I think closest. I don't
Just
think
closest.
No betting $1 on these.
Speaking of, though, I did have like a quick thing to do here before we get started, just to put us in the mood.
Fight a will.
Chad's loading something up, and
Potted meat challenge. That's good. That's enough of that. All right, great.
okay. Well, I guess I'll start just for the hell of it. I'm going to ask my two questions. You guys are going to battle it out for the first points of the competition here.
This is the combination of every game show ever.
Yep.
That makes sense because this looks like the Double Dare slime that you would jump in at the end.
I'm good. Do you have the Jeopardy music ready for after I answer my question?
I didn't download the Jeopardy one.
Okay. Question number 1. Apple cider is a drink that we commonly enjoy. This is a fruit-based snack question. How many apples do you think it takes to make a gallon of apple cider? Now we're talking about apples from if you bought one of those bags of 5-pound bags of apples at the grocery store, those mid-size bags of apples. So this, again, probably this number could be different on different sites or whatever, but I just went with a orchard that I found who makes a cider, and they gave me the average number of apples used to make 1 gallon of apple cider.
Who's going first here, me or Geiger?
We'll start with Chad first, and then Geiger will go first on the next question.
All right, I'm gonna say 100.
100 is the guess.
I am going to say,
Smell the potted meat before you.
oh my God, no,
You
don't make me do that. 65.
All right, the correct answer for number of apples it takes to make a gallon of apple cider is 42 apples.
Ah, shit.
Yeah, eat that
So-
meat, Chad.
It's one question. Okay, so in earlier episodes we talked about the Cheez-It. Now the Cheez-It is the top selling cracker in the United States. How many millions of dollars did the United States spend on Cheez-Its in 2017? And I'm going to give you a range anywhere from $0 to $1 billion. It's somewhere in between that.
Oh, thanks for narrowing
How
it down.
helpful.
Well, I didn't want someone to guess 10 million or something, So somewhere between 0 and $1 billion, how much was spent by the people in the United States on Cheez-It?
All right, I'm up first, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
Who Cheez-It? How many fishing trips have happened in the last?
If I could just give you some quick advice, I think you should guess $1 so I can guess $2.
Thanks. But what if it's 0? What if they gave them all away for charity? So this is in 2017, or what is what's the time?
last
frame?
year, the
Okay.
last full year that we've had.
Last fiscal year, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, it's a good thing to think of your fishing trips and how many you guys go through,
When
and
I
then add an extra $10 onto that.
when I last checked Nabisco's fiscal numbers, I am gonna say $1.2 million.
1.2 million.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems high, but we'll go with that.
Hi. All right, Chad. This is a layup here.
Yeah!
No.
I'm going to go 1.2 million and $1. So it's definitely higher than that. It's hundreds of millions.
Tell him the layup before he answers.
The correct answer is $685 million.
Wait a minute. So you just told him it's a layup. Obviously, he knows to go higher then.
I knew it. I knew it was hundreds of millions.
0 to a billion is what was the
I don't have a
range I gave
concept
you.
of this type of thing. All right.
I don't have an idea of what numbers mean. But you still got the split there, so we're all going to be eating this crap. All right, Chad, why don't you run the next question? That sound effect's making me feel worse about this whole thing.
All right, so this one's going to require you to do a little bit of math. We're all familiar with Oreos, and there's different kinds of Oreos, right? There's the regular Oreo, there's the double stuff, there's the mega stuff, which is kind of like a triple stuff, and then there's the Oreo thin. You guys familiar with all of those?
Sure.
Okay, so what is the difference in the number of calories between one mega stuff Oreo and one Oreo thin?
So we're talking a number that the difference. So if we took the higher number, subtracted it, what's that number? We're not actually getting the calories of either one, right?
Right. So say the mega stuff was 1 calorie and the thin was 0. Oh, that's a bad example. Say it was 2 and 1. That's also a bad example. 3 and 2, then your answer would be 1. All
right, Geiger, you want to go first on this one or the next?
I'll take this. So he just gave us a hint. It's not 1 calorie. So eliminate that one. 1.2 million. Okay. I will go with fuck this. I will go with 150.
All right, Novak.
Okay, definitely going lower than that number. I'm just gonna go flat at a flat 100.
All right, you are both way higher, but Novak wins it. A 1 mega stuff Oreo is 90 calories, and 1 Oreo thin is 35 calories. So the difference is 55 calories.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I had the thin pegged right in my head. I think I thought the mega was a lot more than it was supposed to.
All right, I'm on the board. Wait, we all have 1 point.
Yeah.
Get your spoons ready, guys.
Okay, so the way this next one's going to work, I pulled the list of the top 10 best-selling candy bars in the United States in 2015. This is according to the website thedailymeal.com.
From 3 years ago.
Yeah, so that's the latest I could find. What you guys will do is you will each name a candy bar, and then whoever is closer to number 1 gets the point. Does that make sense?
The top best-selling candy bars.
Top best-selling candy bars.
So we can name the same one if we both think that's the same one.
No, you have to say something different.
So if the first guy names number 1, the other person's automatically screwed.
Yes, but I won't tell you what it is till you've both answered.
Glad I'll get to go first here. Oh, this is so hard not to put my own bias into this. And also, what were you thinking of candy bars? I know we've always had that debate on what a candy bar actually is, and we had that on a different episode. But I'm going to have to say Snickers. If I don't say it, then I'll regret saying it. So I'm going to go Snickers, Geiger.
Which is the exact scenario I just predicted. If we're both going to want to say Snickers. I guess regular Hershey bar.
Ooh, wow, that was close. Here's the top 10.
Oh, I'm nervous.
Starting at number 10, Almond Joy. Number 9, Milky Way. Number 8, Hershey's Cookies and Cream, which is total horseshit. Why is that on the list?
Right.
Number 7, Three Musketeers. 6, Twix. 5, Kit Kat.
I'm screwed.
4, Plain Hershey Bar.
Yes!
Number 3, Snickers. Number 2, Reese's Cups. Number 1, M&M's.
Oh, I was going to say, but I didn't think M&M counted as a bar.
Right.
What I was trying to go for, too, is like people buy Hershey bars for like cooking and like other stuff. Like it's a very versatile use candy bar.
And then I was staring at Nick's face when I started saying Snickers, and he was just nodding, knowing that he was also going to say Snickers if I didn't. So man,
I just did the math in my head. Geiger, you're eating the meat because you only have 1 point, and the next and you can't get any more points because you're asking now.
Correct.
Right, but if I get them both, you guys are both eating the meat.
So either both of us are eating, or just Geiger.
I told you beforehand I was going to end up eating this fucking meat. I'm terrible at any game.
Eating the fucking meat.
All right.
Oh, man.
So all I have to do is get one of these right.
Okay. I'm just going to email you these questions while I go write a will.
And look, to be fair, I like Chad plenty, but I'm not going to bend over for these questions. I'm going to try to make this guy eat. So.
All right. Okay. So I made my questions based on some snacks we've already eaten in our last podcast. All right, Chad, dramatic music for round 3 here.
Oops, hold on.
All right. Welcome to a suspenseless round 3, where an unfortunate victim has been chosen.
Right. Well, if Chad gets this next question, the last
Yeah.
question is null and void. But
Misery and
if he
company.
doesn't, then he's fighting for his own life.
Mhm.
So we already ate a Snickers crisper.
Yes.
How many calories were in that?
This is the type of thing Chad knows.
Oh, I put it in my food watchers or whatever.
All right, Chad, you want to go first or second?
I'll go first. 240.
I'm gonna go 230.
Novak. 190 is the answer.
Oh
fuck.
boy,
All comes down to this,
it
Chad.
just got interesting.
Oh, boy. Novak, that's the sign of a man strolling down the street not having to eat potted meat.
It's sort
Oh.
of like I can perform better, not under pressure. You know, it's like you're shooting free throws in practice, you're knocking
Right.
them all down, but then the game's on the line, you can't hit it. So I mean,
Right.
I'm just playing with house money right here.
I'm going to be shooting potted meat out my asshole. All right, here we go. The final for all the marbles for Chad's, as far as Chad's concerned. And rubs his face and considers his fate. I don't know why I'm laughing. I'm eating this shit. We previously ate the Madagascar vanilla almond and honey. This bar saves lives. Could that title be any fucking longer? How many ingredients were in that?
I thought you were going to ask how many lives has it saved.
To be clear, when you read an ingredients list, sometimes it'll say like this is in it, and then it breaks down the component ingredients. I included the component ingredients, so every little tiny thing that is in this bar has been counted.
So we're just listing a number for the number of
How
ingredients.
many ingredients do you think
Ooh,
to
this
that
is a
bar?
good final question.
If they're mechanically separated, does that count?
Sheen counts as one, and then the ingredient now. This company respects itself.
All right.
Do they
I'm just
mechanically separate the orphans before they feed them?
Yeah, it's made of 100% orphan meat. You're wrong.
I'm going to. It's a number that came into my head
Uh-huh.
because this is to save lives. You need a good number of ingredients. It's not an easy task. I'm going to go with 11.
Ooh, I had 12 in my mind, but then I was like, I'm going to just decide if I want to go above or below Novak. So I'm going to go
Correct.
above with 12.
Ooh, he's going above.
19, Chad.
Yes!
That's 19 ingredients?
Yeah.
What the-
At least according to what I found online, a lot of it is still good stuff. It's like dextrose and like I don't know, like all the grains in there, fruit, and then it like gave like something, and then it broke it down into component part. There was some soy in there, and then the soy equaled all that other stuff. So
Geiger, I have a sound effect for you.
is it just me, like I predicted? Is that what my colon's doing?
Yeah.
Just slowly deflating.
Now I want you to make that same noise with your ass.
I'm not going to do it voluntarily. It's just going to happen.
So the final score, Novak 3, me 2, Geiger 1.
I'll be honest. All I feel is relief. I'm taking no joy in this. All I do is feel bad for him.
Oh, you're not, huh?
I'll take joy in it.
Chad-
are you
I'm
not?
saying that because I know Ched's is taking lots of joy.
Do you guys still have to take another bite, or are you done?
I'll take another bite.
I'm not taking another bite.
Yeah, I appreciate your.
I haven't
Here.
had breakfast yet.
I'm eating
Now-
it off camera. Trust me. Oh, you're done.
Now, if you want, I guess we can extend it to the rest of the episode so you can dip your Flaming Hot Cheeto in it if you want.
Yeah. How much longer do we have? Is this
30
30
seconds.
minutes.
So,
Go ahead and eat. We won't stare at you while you eat. So the first potted meat challenge is over, and hopefully the last potted meat challenge, honestly. Oh, this is nasty watching you eat that. We shouldn't even have to watch you eat it.
hey, guess what? It's nasty. You're eating it, asswipe.
Just take giant bites. The bigger the bites, the faster it'll be over.
The last we'll put up a picture of this potted meat
I
because
like that you're washing that meat down with Coors Light.
I need something that'll kill the bacteria.
all right, why Nick finishes up that meat, we're going to delve into our last snack. We will put up a picture of them. I think you have to, if you're listening to this, look up the meat. Now it's the Armor potted meat, but we'll put a picture up on Twitter too, so that you can feel sick along with Nick as he eats the potted meat. But we're gonna eat the Flaming Hot Cheeto, which is a pretty popular snack, but not a common one for the three of us, I would guess. How do you guys feel? Nick, I'll let you talk here in between your bites about Cheetos in general, and then do you have any history with the Flaming Hot variety?
Fuck you. No, I'm kidding. I have never eaten Flamin' Hot Cheetos. I actually don't really like Cheetos that much. Yeah, yeah. Hot take. I just don't. They get all over your fingers. Like that cheese gunk is all over your fingers, and they're orange, and they stain you, and they just like they're kind of like weirdly chewy. And I've just never. The cheese is like overpowering. For some reason, I've never enjoyed the Cheeto. So I've therefore never bothered trying the Flamin' Hot version.
Chad, what do you think?
I would never try this because it says Flaming Hot on it. Like, there's actually a decent chance that I might prefer the potted meat to this.
Oh, there's not.
You can't be serious about that.
I think Cheetos are okay, like normal Cheetos. They're just a little too processed tasting for me. I'd rather eat like a Frito or something like that. Like these are, yeah, so I'm not really a huge fan. So I've never tried these before.
I like a regular Cheeto. Certainly, I prefer a crunchy Cheeto to a cheese puff or cheese ball. I would take the crunchy Cheeto in a second. But I don't usually eat hot varieties of things like this, like Takis or anything. But I have tried them, not gotten my own bag, but I've tried, single hot Cheetos before. But it's been long enough to where I don't really remember. So let's open up the Flaming Hot bag. And the color on a Flaming Hot Cheeto is one of the most unnatural food colors you'll ever see.
Very unappetizing color, this super bright red.
Are you okay, Geiger? No. Oh, he's gonna throw up.
What percentage of the meat have you eaten? The middle finger percentage, all right.
Are you? If you're not okay, just let us know. We'll just be eating the hot Cheetos.
Oh shit! I've been trying to eat a real big bite to get through it. That was a tactical error. I'm about 75% of the way through.
That meat is the type of thing that you're gonna be smelling. It's on your breath later and just making you sick all over again.
It's so salty. That's the thing. It's just so salty and wet. Not in a good way.
You should have thought about that before you answered those questions wrong.
You should have thought about that when researching the fiduciary viability of Nabisco.
Ooh.
All right, I got to switch it up. I'm going to stop here and try Cheetos before I'm unable to eat.
The Flaming Hot Cheeto is hot. You can taste the hotness right away. So I know sometimes these things brand themselves as hot, and they're not that hot. But I think the flavor is decent for a hot snack. I can still taste the cheese, this thing.
Yeah.
It's not overpowering. It's a little... Geiger doesn't want to hear your fucking whiny noises into the potted meat.
This mildly hot, popular snack food is really bothering me. This is a gross episode, everyone.
All right, I think we're going to start with Chad.
Yeah, these are so spicy. They're not... Okay, they're not super spicy, but they are too spicy for me. I've only eaten 3, and now my mouth is very uncomfortable. I don't even like the flavor of the Cheeto underneath it. These are getting a hate dat from me.
Whoa!
Right. That's right. I forgot
what was that noise? What was that noise?
I forgot my mic was on. I just got through the last bite.
Wait, what was the noise?
Hey, good job. That earns you a...
That would be coughing and trying not to do.
Now lick the empty can.
Sorry, go ahead, Jed. My bad.
No, I was done. I gave it a hate dat. I gave it what you probably gave that potted meat.
I give it more than I hate that. I'll tell you what.
Okay, I'll go next, so Geiger can try to recover.
You're a good sport, Geiger.
Thank you.
I thought I wasn't going to like these very much. Man, I'm really torn between an indifferent and a like, because I think the flavor underneath is slightly better than I thought it was going to be, but I don't see myself eating the whole bag of them. I think it's just a tad too hot for my preference. I wouldn't say it's too hot for someone who likes hot food. The hotness is decently pleasant, but just not enough for me to quite like it and want to get another bag, so I'm going to just barely slide it into indifferent to that. Geiger, what do you think?
I'm destroying this bag just to watch the taste. It's good because it lights your mouth on fire, which is basically what I have to do with the entire inside of my body right now.
It's burning off all the meat that's caked on the inside.
Yeah. I think I ate one of the machine parts. These are actually good. I don't really like Cheetos, like I said before, but I do. These are not overly spicy for me. These are a good level where your tongue, you can feel it on your tongue, but it's not gross and there's still some flavor to it. I still don't love Cheetos as a whole. I'm trying really hard not to. They feel like manna from heaven right now just from eating the pot of meat. I want to give it like a true independent evaluation.
Man, I feel nothing.
I would go over to Chester Cheetah and just give him a giant hug and weep on his shoulder for saving me.
You'd go up to Chester Cheetah and be like, I'll clean the piss out of your ball pits any day.
And he'd be like, okay, dude. That's how he talks, right?
Chester Cheetah's voice changed like over the years.
Yeah. I actually think those Cheetos commercials are pretty funny with like the Cheeto where he's doing like making people do weird stuff.
What?
I have not seen those.
There's like ones where like, oh, Janet, you're doing this or something. And she's over there doing something like zany, not like weird, but like.
Now pull down my pants, Janet.
Clean my ball pit with your tongue.
There's only one thing a Cheetah's not fast at. Sex. I mean sex. Why am I
That's not even a very smooth line for the cheetah to say.
Oh, yeah. Unlike most cheetahs are known as real smooth operators. My bad. I didn't mean
This guy, I feel like he used to be like a regular cartoon cheetah. Then they gave him like shades and he was talking like some kind of cool guy who cleans piss off a ball pit. I just feel like he changed. Changed, man. Anyway, go ahead, Geiger.
I think I've changed. I've come out the other side a different person. I guess I'm going to give it an indifferent only because I think they don't taste bad, but I would never buy them in a million years just because I don't like Cheetos that much. So for a normal Cheeto to me as a dislike, this brings it like I would prefer if I had to eat a regular Cheeto or this, I would eat this every time. So it brings it up to an indifferent for me.
All right, so we have 2 indifferents and a hate. So not a high rating for the Flamin Hot Cheeto. If you disagree with any of our ratings or just want to say hello, then where can they find us at, Geiger?
You can find me at my gastroenterologist. I don't see you.
Hey, dude, come in. Let me take a look at that asshole. Chester Cheetah's your doctor.
Chester Cheetah's my anal doctor, which is not what they're called, I don't think. You can find us on Twitter at You Tried Dat. You can find us on Facebook under the group You Tried Dat. Also, you can email us directly at youtrydat@gmail.com. And like Novak said, let us know what you think. If you agree, disagree, want us to try a particular snack, or have any other feedback of any kind.
Did Chester Cheetah go to medical school? It doesn't sound like it when he's just telling you to come in so you can have a look at your asshole.
It sounds like most of Chester's interactions with people are just telling them to lick his nuts or asking to see your butthole. I can't even get this out.
He's a real scumbag, really. He's just not even a decent person.
Yeah, well, he looks like a ne'er-do-well. Look at him. He's got those sunglasses on, just hanging around, pushing snacks on people.
Now, Chester's not even on this bag, to be fair.
Two for $1. So these are these more of Chad's half-price snacks, or who bought these? These are
I didn't pick these out.
you should be damn lucky I gave you some hot Cheetos after you had to eat that meat.
You're damn lucky. I don't understand how money works. I was close on everything else.
All right, so that's going to do it for this week. The Potted Meat Challenge is over. And next time, we give previews for next episodes, but we're going to try to eat a fan-suggested snack next time. So I know you all think that, look, Al's going to give a suggestion, but they'll never listen to me. We will. We will listen to the little people who suggest that we eat snacks.
Even though you're all beneath us, we will listen to you.
A little more just meaning because we're fat from eating all these snacks.
Right.
Geiger, it's digesting now. What's the final verdict?
It's the worst thing I've ever eaten. I'm not kidding. It is so bad. It's just so salty. I don't understand under what context you would eat it. Was it cheap? Was it like $1?
Oh, it was $9 a can.
No,
of course it was cheap.
But I mean, so I guess
I was walking to the parking lot and a guy wheeled an entire cart up to me and was like, "You're taking these." He had a gun to my head.
Was it Chester Cheetah? I'm late for my shift at Chuck E. Cheese.
Take the potted meat and then pull down your pants.
Wait, is Chester going to get after my ball pit this time? I think so. Somebody had told me I had let someone know we were doing this, a fan of the podcast, Or no, I'm sorry, it was my stepmother had heard somebody that we used to work with would like spread it over like toast or something or crackers and eat it, which I guess is a better vehicle than eating it straight.
I don't think you're supposed to eat it straight. I think you're supposed to like mix it in, I don't know, scrambled eggs or something.
I don't think
No.
it's scrambled.
No, you're not. No. You're
I do
supposed
think
to-
you're supposed to spread it on something.
Like
Like
scrambled
bread.
eggs. Just take your scrambled eggs and spread it on top with a knife.
You're supposed to spread it on top of classified documents so no one tries to read them.
All right. Thanks for joining us. That's going to do it for this episode. And we'll catch you next time when we will be trying 3 new snacks.
Deuces.
Yep.